Pelagics. My name is Jeff Neubauer, and this is your SoCal fishing forecast for Thursday, July 14th. Quick little note here. Recently wrote an article for Western Outdoor News on fishing, flying fish lures, and you can check that out. There's a link to the article on our website, chasingpelagics.com. And we also end up doing a podcast with them as well. There's also a link for that, and you can find it on Spotify or iTunes. We are also this month doing a giveaway with our partner Jig Pro Fishing. We got some pretty rad knife jigs here in a variety of colors and weights, along with a really nice jig bag, so you can store all these jigs in, along with all the stuff that you got. And all you have to do is follow Chasing Pelagics on Instagram and Jig Pro Fishing as well, and tag 2 friends in the post. And we're going to be giving this nice little setup here away on August 1st. So make sure you check that out. Quick look at our current weather conditions here. The weather is finally, looks like, making a good turn for the better. Hopefully get some more summertime conditions here. We've had June gloom all week. It's really ruined our chart, so it's really not helping us out much here. But looks to be, as of now, some of that is going to go away. But we'll see how it all plays out. Quick look at our windy.com model here. Currently, this wind model is looking way better than what it was 3 or 4 days ago. 3 or 4 days ago, it was showing this whole week completely blown out with more west winds onshore above 15 knots, and now it's slowed down quite a bit and looking a lot more favorable for our type of fishing here. Still might see a little bit of light eddy flow, so you still might get some of that overcast gray skies, but we'll see how this all plays out here. But as of right now, it looks like through Saturday, it's looking pretty good. So I'm excited, and you should be too. Finally, we get back to real summertime fishing, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, really looking good. And then Monday, like I said, this stuff, once it gets this far out, you really don't know. So check back on Saturday, see what this model looks like, and kind of have a good idea of what next week is going to be like. As far as the marine conditions here, it's looking pretty good. So nothing overall concerning that I see here whatsoever through Monday, at least for now. So back to the charts, man. We're looking at the 8-day temperature chart. As I mentioned, our cloud cover has been pretty terrible. So you kind of getting an idea of what's going on with the 8-day. But realistically, just to give you an idea, 3-day, utterly worthless. So you get the idea. And chloro is still terrible. So we'll leave it at that. I'll use the 8-day surface temp for now. But let's talk about fishing. 4th of July weekend was a busy weekend for a lot of people out there on the water. This bluefin were close to home over, 14, Avalon Bank, a little bit north of there. There's this temp break. This has since gone away. This chart doesn't really show it that well, but this water has kind of blended together like what I thought was going to happen. And as I mentioned last week, when that happens, these fish are going to head west. And I didn't expect this activity in this zone to last very long, and that's exactly what happened. So, the 14 and the Avalon Bank is a really highly trafficked area. Not only is it the shipping terminal or the shipping lanes for Port Long Beach, but you get a lot of boat traffic from Newport and from Dana, pretty much run right over it, coming to Catalina. So holiday weekend, lots of boat traffic, and bluefin do not like boats. So that doesn't help to the whole situation, but it is what it is. Fishing around Catalina has been pretty quiet. I know the usual barracuda, bass, bonitas moved in for summertime. Plenty of that to be found all around the island. Yellowtail's been pretty shy. Haven't really seen too much going on lately, but if you're going to spend some time at the island targeting those, I would probably start with slow trolling some mackerel or sardines. Probably on the backside is where I would look first. See what happens from there. Moving further south down to San Clemente Island. It's been a little bit nasty on the backside, so I assume, based on the wind, that most of the stuff on the backside is going to be a little tore up and maybe a little turned over, so probably not right. But the front side has been pretty green, or not green, but pretty good as far as being clean. And there's been a pretty good showing of yellowtail uh, on the front side. Persane Rock, uh, you know, their south has been pretty good the last few days, but I wouldn't be shy about following it further north. There is some squid in the area, but you don't necessarily need squid. They've been biting squid, they've been biting the sardine, they've been biting the yo-yo, surface iron. So look for those birds activity, uh, along the front side to really try and find those fish. And if there's no surface signal, again, slow trolling, mackerel, sardines, or a rapala and a mackerel flavor typically works pretty good if you're not looking for some bycatch. Let's talk about Coronado Islands. Pretty much steady. Nothing exciting going on. There's been some yellows being caught. Um, it's not going wild, but it's kind of just that steady, consistent Coronado Island fishing. Mixture of fish, barracuda, and yellows around. No sea bass as of late. If you catch one, just kind of be on the odd chance. But if you're looking for sea bass, Channel Islands has been pretty much still steady, looking pretty good for that. 20 to 25 pound fish is really what they've been catching up there. Still catching on squid, those little white fluke baits, little head, two lures, all that kind of stuff. It's still been working pretty good. There's been some rumors about a little bit of sea bass over at SBI. Really can't confirm it, but it might be worth a look because you're probably going to be out there if you're looking for bluefin. So as I mentioned last week, when this stuff dries up on the east or on the over here on the east side, that's going to head west. And the first two areas that I mentioned was going to be the 499 and the Osborne, where I've seen them in past years, and they've already been sighted at both those places. And also the Snail, which is the other 267, not to be confused with this one, but it's right here just west of the 499. They've been seen there also. This is the bigger grade stuff, 80, 100-pound plus. It has not been biting that well, but I really think some of the stuff's just on the move, or it's being targeted by sport boats, not by private boats, trying to hit it with bait, and they're just not getting the reaction they want from it. Further south, off the island, on the north side and northwest corner, 5 to 10 miles off the island, there's been scattered bluefin in here as well. Some of that smaller grade stuff too is mixed in with some of the bigger stuff. Earlier in the week, it was a little bit further out here west, which is kind of middle of nowhere, not really lined up on any contours. But yeah, it was kind of out here in no man's land, and now it's shifted a lot more proper to the top of the ridge. So that's where I'd be looking in this area. If you want to go target the stuff, if you want to, maybe go fish the island for yellows, maybe down here, and then swing back up, or hit Catalina first, then come look at the bluefin in the afternoon. Might be a good option for you. But we'll see what happens. Usually we got to get the stuff to settle in a little bit more before it starts to react. They've settled in on the Osborne in past years for 2-3 weeks at a time, so we'll see what happens with that. Or some of the stuff is going to continue heading north, and we'll never see it again. It'll be up to Monterey. But I wouldn't discount Tanner and Cortez. No one's really been fishing this because of the wind, and I'm sure that those yellowtail are still in the high spots, along with some bluefin. And typically it's the late season when the bigger ones show up here, so more like August, September, October. So we'll see what happens with that. But all in all, still pretty decent fishing. I know those bluefin kind of had their nose in the mud for a few weeks, but that's what happens when you got changing conditions, especially when you're looking for that real summer bite, and then things just kind of get turned upside down their head. The Thunderbird did get quite a few on the night bite. It doesn't mean that they're all going to participate on the night bite here, but the good news is that we are flowing into that full moon, and usually these fish are pretty active at night when they're on the full moon, and it's always been a good moon phase for me fishing for them. So I would highly look forward to that. It seems like this week a lot of guys are really focusing on catching these things on Mad Max, and I know that they are in very, very short supply. People are importing them from Australia and wherever to try and get these things. But there is a large variety of other plug lures that you can use instead of a Mad Mac. Here's a few. The Yoziri Bonita, a newer lure. It's been out for a few years, but another good choice. If you want to go really old school, we can talk about the Braid Marauders that people used back in 2015 for Wahoo that are probably still sitting in the garage that they haven't touched since then. Those also work. If you want to go something a little more fancier, Mag Bay Lures Mag Track. Pretty cool little lure. The bottom hook actually holds in place using a magnet, hence the name Mag Track. So yeah, and then obviously we've already been talking about Mad Max, but a lot of guys are changing out the hooks on Mad Max, especially the trailing one with a larger treble hook. You'll see when you look at them in person that the barbs on the hook are like almost not even there. I've tried grinding it down behind it and trying to bend them out. You can get a little bit out of it, but really they're just not big enough. So I'd recommend changing the hook, same size, just one that's got a little bit more of a barb to it. So keep it in mind before you go spend $200 on eBay on a Mad Max. As far as kelp patty fishing, as in the U.S. waters, we really haven't seen much come above the 209. There's been some stuff between the 181, 182 already, and we're talking kelp patty Dorado and kelp patty Yellowtail. Various sizes all over the place. We've seen some of those little rats. We've seen some 20-pounders when it comes to Yellowtail, and then the Dorado's typically the smaller stuff. We don't really get the giant ones here, but yeah. So that's typical July fishing. Remember last year we had an incredible year for Dorado fishing, so maybe we're going to get some more of that. Moving further into Mexico waters, we've had the same type of fishing here, really from the 425 up to 302, 371, right in this area, centered around this point. And then same variety of fishing. And then we still had some spotty stuff here, upper lower hidden. Really just following the canyon here is really what we're going to be looking at. This canyon wall, this canyon wall. I know we get a little gap in here. And that explains why we have yellowfin piled up down here between the 238, 295, all the way down to the lower 500. And they seem over at the Banda Bank too. So we kind of have a gap in fishing here. And eventually this stuff will slide up, when the water temps cooperate a little bit more. There is another little storm out there brewing up. If we zoom out here, we get a glimpse at it. But this little one sliding off west. And then we get a little disturbance down here too. As we go into the week, that's Monday, Tuesday. So maybe that little storm will help bump them up again. We'll see what happens. But that's pretty much it for this week, guys. Be safe out there on the water, and we'll catch you next week. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and check out our website and online store at chasingpelagics.com. And make sure you share the stoke.